Minister, e-scooters represent an exciting new form of mobility that's low cost, low emissions and accessible, but essentially under existing law these vehicles are illegal on Irish roads. Can I ask you to provide the House with an up-to-date in terms of your department's efforts to legislatively provide for the use of e-scooters in Ireland?
Ministers, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Ceann Comhairle, and I'd like to thank the Deputy for raising this subject. The Road Traffic Act 1961 defines a mechanically propelled vehicle as a vehicle intended or adapted for propulsion by mechanical means, including a bicycle or tricycle with an attachment for propelling it by mechanical power. Whether or not the attachment is being used, it also includes a vehicle, the means of propulsion of which is electrical or partly electrical and partly mechanical. E-scooters and powered skateboards fall into this category and are therefore considered to be mechanically propelled vehicles. Any users of such vehicles in a public place, as defined in the Road Traffic Act 1961, must have insurance, road tax and a driving licence with penalties under traffic laws, including fixed charge notices, penalty points, fines and possible seizure of the vehicle for not being in compliance with these requirements. As it's currently not possible to tax or insure e-scooters or electric skateboards, they are not considered suitable for use in a public place. I have requested the Road Safety Authority to research how e-scooters and other such vehicles are regulated in other countries, particularly other member states. I'm keen to understand the road safety implications of the use of such vehicles on public roads, especially when interacting with other vehicles. I will make a decision on whether or not to amend existing legislation when I have received the outcome of the authority's research, and not before then. I will need to be satisfied that permitting such vehicles on our roads will not give rise to safety concerns, both for the users themselves and for all other road users, including cyclists, pedestrians and motorists, or other adversely impacted on other users of our roads and streets, whether on foot, cycle, MPV or public transport. I'm aware of the fact that the Deputy's party is eager to introduce a bill on e-scooters as well, and I welcome the fact that he's going to do that. I gather it may even happen today, and I will certainly consider that bill in the light of what I've said and in light of what the RSA is going to report to me as well. It's extremely constructive that they're going to add to this debate, which is a complicated one, and to inform what's going down the line.
And stick to the time.
Thank you, Well, Minister, as you know, the use of e-scooters is rising rapidly, and the reason why it's rising rapidly is because they're efficient, they're mobile, they're low cost, and people are responding. Recently, Conor Pope wrote an article and he said that a 3-kilometre journey from the Phoenix Park to College Green in rush hour traffic took 10 minutes. So it's no wonder people are using them. And as well as being very efficient in terms from a time perspective, they're also hugely energy efficient. Unfortunately, though, Minister, the Department is once again reacting to a trend. And you have come in here today and you have been unable to say when exactly the Road Safety Authority will conclude their investigation into this. And you know, I don't believe it should take a long period of time, because these e-scooters are used in many other international cities and are regulated in many other international cities. So we're not asking you to reinvent the wheel, we're just asking you to bring about a similar regulation to ensure that they can be used in a safe manner in our own country.
Ministers, 1 minute.
I can understand the Deputy's impatience. This is, however, a matter of road safety, and it's very, very important that we get it right, and it's also very important that we should get the views of the Road Safety Authority. What they're doing, I gather, and I'm not watching them line by line, day by day, but I gather is they're gathering information on how it operates, how these operate elsewhere. And one of the things that you'll find somewhat revealing is that various countries have reacted in various different ways to this. And I don't accept the accusation of being slow. It's been a pretty sudden explosion of these particular vehicles. But various countries have reacted in different ways to the emergence of the flood of these particular scooters, which I'm not taking a position on until I've heard all the arguments. But I just point out to them that in many countries, action has been taken. Barcelona has actually banned them. Paris and Berlin have imposed restrictions, and this follows safety concerns as well as difficulties due to the interaction of e-scooters with other forms of traffic, from motor vehicle to bicycles to pedestrians. It's not quite as simple as it may appear on the surface to just say that they should be regulated in a certain way. The prime purpose of the survey and the examination which is going on is one of safety. And I just point out that Belgium classes them with pedestrians or bicycles, depending on speed. Denmark had 4 classes of them, depending on speed. France has different rules about them, and Sweden legislation treats them the same as bicycles. So there's a very different reaction, and we hope to be able to learn from that, and to learn from your bill, which you're intending to introduce as well, and to act accordingly. But my position on it at the moment is let's wait and see what the research shows, and then we'll make a decision.
Thank you. Minister, you're open to persuasion. You don't have a view yourself, is effectively what you're saying. That's, I suppose, hardly surprising. You don't have views on too many things. But in terms of the report that you have commissioned the RSA to conduct into this, the use of e-scooters, did you set a timeline in terms of when they must report back to you? And in terms of that timeline, then, how quick can we expect action from you and your government colleagues? In November of last year, your government colleague, Deputy Rock, said he was publishing a bill. My understanding is no bill was ever published. So I think we have to acknowledge, and you did, that the use of this has exploded in the last number of months, and 12 months in particular, and we need to respond accordingly. People are using them. They're effective, they're efficient, they help with congestion, they help with the environment, and we should react positively to this while ensuring the safety of all road users. So can you give a commitment and set down a time frame in terms of when you will formulate your own opinion and when we can expect to maybe bring our piece of legislation, which we'll publish later on today, into the Dáil for further discussion?
Minister to respond.
I'm not going to set an exact date, but I'd say to you, Deputy, that I regard it as a matter of great importance because of the extraordinary surge in the numbers which we see on our pavements, on our footpaths and on our roads. And obviously it's something which can't be tolerated for a very long time. Enforcement is not up to me, but I see that the difficulties of having any vehicle like that on our roads which isn't regulated. So we will have to make a decision as soon as possible. I do want to emphasise the safety issue. I know that the convenience is something for certain people, but I also want to emphasise the fact that research will show whether these actually are in line with the policy we have of getting people out of buses and out of cars, into buses, into public transport and onto bikes, or whether these people are actually coming out of public transport and crowding the roads. We don't know the answer to that question, where they're coming from and what the effect of this is on overall policy, and that would also be a major factor in deciding it. But we will decide in a very quick time about this. We will consider your bill. We will consider what they say, but let me say this, safety is paramount on this issue. Safety is what really matters first. Other considerations, of course, are important, but let's accept the fact that safety is what matters. We don't want to see the sort of incidents that we've seen elsewhere,
Next question.
accidents caused by these vehicles.
Next question.